Welcome to the Reclaim Your Divinity series with your host, Amanda Cannon. I am an intuitive energy healer, light code activator, hypnotherapist, and a priestess of the Rose lineage. It is my pleasure to walk with you as a guide on your journey to reclaim your divinity. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, please go to amandacannon.net. Hello, beautiful divine beings. Thank you so much for joining me on today's podcast episode 5 of the Reclaim Your Divinity series. And today we're going to be discussing the power of the throat chakra, your own personal activation tool. And in today's episode, I'm going to cover off what an imbalanced and balanced throat chakra looks like, the link between your internal wisdom and your spiritual wisdom, how your throat chakra is your own personal built-in activation tool, and how to use this to your advantage, as well as just ways that we can work with the throat chakra to bring it into balance. Okay, so diving on in, just starting with what is the throat chakra? So the throat chakra is the 5th chakra in the chakra system, located in the center of the throat around the larynx area. It is the color of a royal blue, and in Sanskrit, the name for it is a Vishuddha. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. And so the throat chakra plays a very important role in our well-being and our ability to express ourselves. It's the center of our communication, our authentic expression. And so I'm just going to start off with talking about signs of an imbalanced throat chakra. What does this look like? What might you be experiencing if your throat chakra is out of balance? So physically, you could be experiencing having mouth sores often, so ulcers or any kind of sores in your mouth, really, cold sores on your mouth, in your throat, on your tongue. The throat chakra is connected to your whole neck and shoulder area, and so therefore you might experience tension in your neck, shoulders, in your jaw area as well. That's a really common one, tension in the jaw, in your TMJ. So if you experience headaches from chewing, like if you're eating chewy food or something, can you get lots of tension in your jaw and you get headaches in your temple area, and just frequent headaches in general from the tension that you're experiencing in this upper part of your body. Sore throat, constant sore throats, even colds. And then thyroid issues. So the signs of an imbalanced thyroid or a thyroid that's not functioning properly is excessive weight gain or weight loss. So an imbalance in the metabolism, the digestive system, your energy levels. Often it can, you can end up with flaky skin, tiredness, fatigue, that sort of thing. And so emotional signs of an imbalanced throat chakra, they can include communication issues. So the throat is the center of our communication. And so when it's not in balance, we often find it difficult to communicate our needs, to, get out how we are feeling, what do we need. And also, on top of communicating with our needs, we can find it difficult to listen, to actively listen to the needs of others. And so we might find that we need to jump in before they're finished. We have difficulty in waiting our turn to talk, or constantly turning the topic of conversation back to us. These sorts of communication breakdowns, it can lead to problems in your relationships, in your romantic relationships, in your friendships, even at work. If we can't communicate effectively back and forth, open, honest communication, then it is bound to lead to relationship breakdown of some kind. And, so we can't express ourselves, how we are feeling, what do we need in this moment, what are our values. Maybe we can't actually find the courage to express ourselves. Maybe you're in a group conversation or just in general, and someone says something and you want to say something in response. The words just get stuck in your throat. It's like, oh, you almost choke, you can't get it out. You don't feel confident. You're like, I'll just hold on to it for a little bit longer. I'll hold on a little bit longer, and then now it's too late to say it. How often do you find yourself holding on to what you actually really want to say? That can be a sign of a blocked throat chakra. So just building on that difficulty to express your own feelings, your own needs, your authentic needs, feelings, values, belief systems. Maybe you don't feel confident in talking about your spirituality around friends and family who aren't spiritual. That's a big sign as well. Like not being able to express ourselves may be due to, that fear of judgment that we often have, which can lead to, anxiety, self-doubt, and that need for constant external validation, always looking for validation outside of yourself, rather than just being confident with yourself and your own voice. And unable to express your creativity. I'm not going to go too much into that now because I'm going to dive into that in a moment. So what does a balanced throat chakra look like? A balanced throat chakra would have your, for the physical symptoms, it would have your thyroid operating at optimal levels. So you would feel energized, you would have a well-functioning metabolism and digestive system. Your energy levels would, be pretty consistent, roughly. We all have our ebbs and flows, but you wouldn't always be feeling fatigued. You would probably have smooth skin and just an overall sense of well-being, of feeling healthy and well in your body. And then, of course, you wouldn't have many headaches or that tension in the neck and the jaw area. And so emotional signs of a well-balanced throat chakra include being confident and clear in your communication. So being able to have that conversation back and forth, say what you need to say without being like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Why did I say that? And all of that, icky fear of judgment, which is just you judging yourself, really. But just being able to have that conversation, a nice flowing conversation. So you're able to express your own needs, your desires, your feelings to people, whether it be people at work, your mother, your partner, your children, your friends, any other family members, but just being able to express how you feel and not holding on to your own feelings because you might hurt somebody else or they might not agree with what you're going to say. So this leads into that authentic expression, truly expressing what you want, what is inside you. So that's what you truly believe, what you value, what you desire. It's your own beliefs. It's your own truth. And being able to freely express that, despite what anybody else may think. Because what anybody else thinks doesn't really matter. If that's how you truly feel, then you should be free to express it. You don't need the external validation. So you can express your authentic self because the only validation that you need is from yourself. You just need to feel confident in your authentic expression. So it would lead to feeling confident and self-empowered, able to stand up for what you believe in. Often when it comes to standing up for what we believe in and getting out our authentic expression, there is some fear there. But we just got to feel the fear and do it anyway. The more often we do that, that's how we overcome these self-doubts and stuff, is by just doing it anyway. The more we push through the fears, the easier it gets. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the link between your internal wisdom and your spiritual wisdom. And this is where I'm going to talk about your creativity. So sorry, if your throat chakra is in balance, you will find that you are able to express your creativity, bring it into form, bring it into the 3D with your voice, with your expression. So the link between your sacral and your throat. Well, I'll start with that it is actually physically connected with connective tissue and the vagus nerve. So it is connected through your jaw all the way down into your pelvis area. And so if we have tension in our pelvis, we often find we have tension in our jaw and vice versa, because it's all connected. All the connective tissue is there. And the throat chakra is part of your upper chakra system. So from the heart up, which is your spiritual connection. It's your spiritual wisdom. It's where we channel information down through our crown and express it through our voice or through our throat. And the sacral energy, the energy of the womb, that's the earth energy, the energy of creation, of birth, birthing people, birthing life, birthing creation. And so it's our creative center. It's where we get the uploads or the downloads, whatever, the ideas that come, the inspiration, the inspired inspiration for the new idea. We get it, but we need to be able to bring it to life. And so it's through this connection between our sacral center, our second center, and our throat that we can actually bring these creative ideas, these creative expressions to life. And so when we are doing so, when we are in alignment with what our sacral center is telling us, our creative inspiration, and we are bringing it to life through our throat, we are often tuned in, turned in, tapped on to our connection above as well. And we are channeling infinite wisdom. And you can just feel the beautiful flow like I can now when I'm speaking, when you're speaking your truth, when you're speaking your authentic expression, and the beautiful flow that just comes through. It's channeled, it's divine, it's authentic. And the other connection with the sacral, or the second connection, is that it houses our emotions. Our gut is the house of our emotions, the seat of our emotions. And so when we have all these emotions and our throat chakra is in balance, well, then we can express them and we can tell people how we feel, and we could do it in a healthy way rather than losing it, losing consciousness and just yelling and slamming things and calling people names or whatever it is we may do when we are angry. And so we can express our emotions authentically, gently, compassionately, or, maybe there is a bit of anger there and we can express that anger healthy. And by doing this, we allow the flow, the energy to flow from those emotions, flow up and out through the voice. The energy is released rather than the energy getting stagnant in the gut, just sitting there, festering. If we spend lifetimes, years and years and years, decades of not expressing our emotions, well, that stagnant energy, that's going to come out in a myriad of ways, whether it is emotional outbursts, it's disease, dis-ease in the body, you'll know about it, and you will have to eventually heal it and find ways to express it. And the third connection is that the sacral is the house of our sexual energy. So our sexual energy has been suppressed for so long, especially if we're female, for centuries. And we need to be able to freely express ourselves sexually. So during intimacy, to voice what we desire, voice what feels good, to make noises in response to what feels good. And you find that if you do this, then it feels even better. And if we suppress it and we allow our partner to do things that we're not actually enjoying, or we do things that our partner wants us to do, even though we don't enjoy it because we're too afraid to express ourselves, or we don't actually allow ourselves to enjoy the pleasure of having an orgasm or intimate connection, then we're suppressing our sexual energy. Our sexual energy is our life force energy. It is the creator of all things. It's the creator of fun. It's the creator of joy. It's the creator of nature, of earth, of the universe. It creates all things. And tapping into that sexual energy and allowing it, giving it a space to be expressed, it allows room for more of that beautiful, abundant, flowing energy to come through that you can bring into your everyday life and bring more joy and juiciness to your everyday life. And so now moving on to how your throat chakra is your own personal inbuilt activation tool. Okay, so there is so much power in speaking aloud what resonates with you. So I'm talking about mantras, affirmations, the singing of songs, just speaking what you're feeling. That creates a really great sense of resonance within you. And so, when you're singing a song and the lyrics are just like, oh, like you feel it in your soul and you're singing it and you're getting the goosebumps all over and it feels so good. That's an activation. When, you're saying a mantra or an affirmation and it just feels so good and empowering and it feels so alive within you, that's an activation. You are literally activating within you something when you say that. And so your voice, the words that you speak, the sounds of the words that you speak, they carry a frequency. And it's this frequency that is the activator. It's this frequency, the sound of your voice, that is turning on dormant DNA. And so I'll give an example here. I was talking to my friend way back when, and this was when I was sort of still coming into terms with these gifts that I had been given and what I'm to be doing with them. And I've had the knowing, the inner knowing the whole time that I can activate people. So activations will come through and I can activate you. But there was that gap between the knowing and being confident and actually going out and doing it. And I was talking to my friend one day and she was talking to me about it, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure, I think I can activate you. And as soon as I said that, I got a rush of overwhelming energy. When I said that, I activated that fully in my body, in my cells. It was overwhelming. We were in a public place, a park, there's heaps of people. I'm like covered in goosebumps, so overwhelmed with this massive amounts of energy and tears coming out, because I was just like, I've never said anything more true than that in my whole entire life. That is just in a general conversation. And, I've been doing some past life healing myself recently. And, when I'm in the healing sessions, I've noticed that to bring up the emotion. So I will see the scene, whatever it is that I'm seeing, and to bring that scene more into life, or to bring up the emotion associated with the scene. I could just sit there in my head and try and work it all out and like what's going on. But when I start speaking it, this is what I'm seeing, then the feeling will start to come. Oh, and this is what I'm feeling. And as I speak it and more feeling comes, oh, this is what I'm feeling. And it comes more. And by speaking it, I'm bringing up the emotion, I'm bringing it all out. And then the same goes in the activation side of things. When I'm receiving an activation and I'm getting the download of the inner knowing of the truth of who we are, of the deeper activation of what I'm receiving, if I speak it out loud as I'm receiving it and I'm bringing it into life and I speak it out loud, I feel it more fully in my body. It activates more fully in the cells of my body, turning my cells on, lighting up my body. And the same with my clients. We, do this exact same process. It's the talking of it, it's the speaking, it's the activating with the voice, the bringing to the surface with the voice. Now, when I talk about speaking mantras and affirmations, it's all well and good to sit there and, just say, I can feel $100,000 coming to me, or I fully love and accept myself. If those things, those mantras, if the mantra or affirmation that you're saying is just so disconnected from the truth of what you currently believe in this moment that you're saying it, then it's actually going to do you more of a disadvantage than an advantage. Because when we truly actually do not believe what we are saying and we say something, we actually pile on more momentum, more density, more belief in what we actually believe. So if I say, I can feel $100,000 is coming to me, but really I'm like, never in my wildest dreams, it's never going to come to me. $100,000 just doesn't come to me. Then by saying that, I'm actually feeding the belief that it's not actually going to come to me. So it's so important when using mantras and affirmations as an activation that we are starting with a mantra and affirmation that we truly believe. And it doesn't have to be, oh, I hate myself. It can be something a little more general than I fully accept myself and love myself for just the way I am. Okay, so what do you like about yourself? I know that I'm a kind person. I love that I'm a kind person. Just starting with something a little more general or a little more specific to a certain belief that you do hold about yourself. Um, with the money one, it could just be, I am in the process of manifesting $100,000. Yeah, manifesting it. It's coming at some point. It's just I'm starting to manifest $100,000, and then when you start to believe it more, then you can start to get a bit more specific. So it's so important that when we are using our voice, we're using it to our advantage and not our disadvantage. And then obviously using it to our disadvantage would be when we're talking about ourselves or others or anything in the world in unsavory ways, because all words, all voice carries a frequency. And so if we are going to sit here and complain about the many things that there could be to complain about in the world, then that's carrying a negative frequency. If we are sitting here thinking about how we can't save the people in Africa who don't have enough food for the week, or talking about poverty, and there's nothing that you, me, right here in this moment can do to save that. That's, yeah, we acknowledge that that's there, but if that's activating within you a negative feeling, well, then you're activating negativity in your body. We want to use our voice to activate positivity, to raise our vibration. And our voice certainly can raise our vibration if we are saying high vibrational things that we truly believe. So it's so important to be aware of what we say, in what context, and how what we say makes us feel. And I'm going to bring this into conversations as well. So you don't always have to participate in conversations that don't make you feel good. As you go on your ascension journey, you might move out of the need or the desire to participate in gossip, or to participate in, conversations about politics and stuff. And so you may catch up with your friends and they're still talking about gossip and politics and whatever it is that they talk about, but it doesn't sit right with you. That's not you anymore. That's not your authentic expression. You have every right to say, I'll come back in 10 minutes or so when this conversation's over. Like, this doesn't make me feel good, so I'm going to go to the bathroom. We don't have to participate in anything that doesn't make us feel good. So that is, again, being able to stand in your authentic power, your empowerment, your authentic expression. And so this is what going on the journey to reclaim your divinity, to reclaim the truth of who you are in your throat chakra, balancing and healing your throat chakra. This is what it gets you. It gets you that empowerment. It gets you that knowledge, that knowing that what you say is activating you. Everything that we say is a prayer. Use it to your advantage. So, ways to balance and heal the connection between your sacral and throat. So, it very much is associated with your nervous system. So, if you feel like you're living in fight or flight, overwhelm, that you can't stop, that meditation is hard, resting is hard, then you need to do something about healing your nervous system. And that's often where most of us need to start on this journey. So if you are pretty new to this journey, there's probably a good chance that you need to do some healing of the nervous system. And so, meditation is a great one, but it's also training the body, because the cells in our body, when we've lived in fight or flight for so many years, decades, they're trained in that. So we need to retrain our body, the nervous system, to calm down, not just the mind, but the body as well. So we can do that with, just practicing relaxing the jaw. So I'll do this often whenever I get a moment to think about it and I notice that my jaw is tense, just like, relax the jaw. And when you relax the jaw, the pelvis relaxes. And so you just bring in relaxation, drop in the tension of this whole part of your body, the torso, the everything. You can just feel it all relax. Take some deep breaths as you do this. Take a couple of moments to tune in and take some big, deep belly breaths. The deep breathing, that is a massive one. Do it 10 times a day, 15 times a day. Stop, take some big deep breaths, relax your jaw, relax your pelvis. This is how we start to train our body out of fight or flight. And by doing so, we are actually stimulating the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve is the nerve that is connected to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest state of being rather than our fight and flight state of being. And so when we do the deep breathing, we are stimulating the vagus nerve. And stimulating the vagus nerve is a really important one. And we can do this in multiple ways. Cold shower, end your shower with a cold shower. That stimulates the vagus nerve. gets the endorphins running, makes you feel happy when you get out of the shower. I do it every morning. I really recommend it. And toning the vagus nerve through chanting and mantras, through vibration. And so the vibration for the throat chakra, a good one, you can just do it walking around the house, sitting in meditation, in the shower, whatever, is it's ham, H-A-M, but it kind of sounds more like hum. And when you do that, you can feel it vibrating in your throat. So you're activating the throat chakra with that one. Whereas if you do the om, you can feel it vibrating in your heart space. So the different tones vibrate different frequencies. The frequency of your voice vibrates different chakra systems. And then yoga. There are so many different throat opening yoga asanas. So moving the head back, opening the front, can't say that with my head back. The front of your throat with the neck tilt, or bringing the neck down, opening the back of the throat, even just any kind of neck tilt, roll, opening up this area, different variations of cat-cow, like when you do cow, poke your tongue out, like lift your head right back and poke your tongue out. There are many different variations of asanas that you can do to open up the throat, and you can find them all. Just Google throat opening asanas and go to Google Images, and you'll see heaps. But just if you feel you've got a blocked throat chakra, a good place to start is the toning of the vagus nerve with the voice, the asanas, deep breathing, relaxing the jaw. Also, always do the inner healing work. And I can't emphasize this enough. If you are actually on a spiritual journey and you really want spiritual evolution, you want to heal yourself, you want to tap into that beautiful, abundant energy that's available to you, the downloads that's available to you, the manifestations that are available to you, to go on the healing journey. You have to go within, explore, find out why it is you've got blockages here, and release the energy. Otherwise, it's spiritual bypassing. And that is something that I can definitely help you with. If you are interested in doing the deep work, going on that journey to reclaim your divinity, to unblock your chakra system, to activate within you what is ready to be activated, then please go to amandacannon.com and book a call with me. I'll also pop a link to book a call in the description box of the podcast. Anyway, that is it from me for now. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry this podcast was meant to be up 2 days ago, but I had a couple of hiccups with family and it's a bit delayed, but here it is, better late than never. But it's been a pleasure to share with you today. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, morning, evening, whenever you are tuning in. And I do hope that this information has shed some kind of light or opened up some more awareness within you. Sorry, just my language is just wanting to come through. I am going to be hosting an activation. Not too sure of the details yet, but I will be hosting an activation of the throat chakra. So if you're interested in that, please join the Facebook group where the information will be posted, and a link to that will also be in the description box of this podcast on Spotify. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day. Bye.